ready for dinner?
I am starving.
Should we see if these people would like to go with us?
Yeah. Since they have us out to their sale every year, that'd be nice.
You want to go to dinner?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll jump out and you can come up here. You can come up here.
Hey guys.
Hello, hello.
Do you have any energy left from your sale?
Yes, lots of energy.
So what do you think about this year?
It was great.
Good.
It was good to see you. Yeah. We're happy.
What's your favorite part about sale weekend?
Oh, just seeing people we usually see once a year from far away.
The camaraderie.
It's camaraderie.
Longhorn breeders coming from all over, calling in, online bidding. I mean, it's actually kind of fun if you think about it, how many states we hit today. It's kind of exciting for us being small breeders in Oregon.
How long have you guys been breeding Longhorns?
Since 2000. Yes.
What made you start raising Longhorns?
Oh boy, that's a long story.
Yeah.
First I wanted to raise buffaloes. Yes, I always thought that was cool.
But you got to back up. When you came over from Switzerland, that's when you decided you wanted to do buffalo.
Yes, because you can't do that in Switzerland. You want to do something that's American bison. And then the market tanked. I'm like, no, I'm not going to get into that. And then that was kind of my next choice.
And they like the nostalgia of buffalo, longhorn.
I was at UC Davis in 1992, and I went to the California State Fair, and I saw my first longhorn there, a beautiful black and white steer. I'm like, wow, they left a lasting impression.
So who did you buy your first Longhorns from, or how did you research what you wanted?
We did a lousy job researching. We got some low enders. 2 years later, I sold them all and started over with gunman Brady from Ron Jones.
Okay. Did you actually go out to Jones Ranch?
Yes,
and
we
meet them?
did. Yes, yep. We bought 5 cows, and then we got a Crown Royal son from Don Winger, and 3 years later we had some good results. We went to the Rocky Mountain Select sale and topped the sale there in 06.
Wow. So what are some interesting things you do living outside of Texas, Oklahoma to help market your Longhorns, make some private treaty sales locally, all that sort of stuff?
You guys. No, Heil Hand is a big part of it. Our website. We go to a sale every so often. I also participate in a sale every so often. I think it goes a long way to kind of show support.
So what about, like yesterday we were at a winery and your Longhorns were kind of by the vineyards and stuff.
Yes.
What about things like that?
Yes, we do that too, although I have to be careful that it doesn't interfere with my day job.
Sorry.
No. It's yeah.
So what's your day job?
My day job, I'm a president of a vineyard management company. We're managing a lot of vineyards here in this valley.
Here locally?
Locally.
And Southern Oregon as well.
Right. We're farming about 2,500 acres.
What about you, Angelina?
I manage a little winery, a little boutique one, and really enjoy it because it's fun. I'm their first employee and their only full-time employee, so it's kind of nice going in at a starting point for a small winery that's boutique and high-end wines too, which is really nice. So enjoy it a lot. And they're flexible. They're animal lovers, so if there's an issue at the ranch, they don't mind if I have to take the day off or afternoon off to take care of the animals, so it's really nice.
So Daniel came from Switzerland.
Correct.
You always lived here in Oregon?
I'm an Oregonian, born and raised on the Oregon coast.
Okay.
Moved over to the valley about 22 years ago. Love it over here.
And you know, when she saw my longhorns, she insulted me a little bit.
Uh-oh.
What are you doing with this corny looking?
I said, aren't they a little skinny and slight? And he got all offended. Because I was doing Hereford and Angus when I met him. So that was the funny part. I'm used to these big fat butts. me adjusting to the horns and the different frame.
Are you happy that you did?
Oh yes, because what I like is with Longhorns, they each have their own personality versus beef animals to me are very much drones. They just eat and graze. They don't have personality. And with the Longhorns, I love that. They each have their own, and a lot of times you can see it, come across from the mothers as well, which is kind of cool. They pick up their personality, and so it's really fun.
That's a really good way to put that. I've never heard it,
Yeah.
that example used before.
So out of all the sales and things that you've been to, is there that one animal that has gotten away from you that you wish you had today?
Not really.
Never. For us, it's a business. Only I'd say one time he saw me cry.
When we sold one though.
And that was the very first sale we went to in Colorado when we topped it, because I cried and he goes, "You said we can sell her." And I said, "Yeah, but I didn't know we could get that kind of money." So it was pure excitement. But we never regretted selling anything because we're always excited to see somebody's liking what we're doing. And if they want to buy it, it makes us really happy. So.
And I have, and sometimes my wife doesn't like it, that I have a limit when we buy, but it is a business, and I usually don't get carried away. And it's like, okay, this one wasn't meant to be, there's always another one. So, yeah.
When you buy, what things do you look for in particular in animals?
I mean, the pedigree is really important to me, top and bottom.
That's the first thing that you always look
Yeah.
at.
And I really think out here in the West, we really need to be conscious of that, because it feels like we're always about 6 months behind
At least,
in the pedigree. So we need to be very conscious about making sure we keep up to pace with what the main states are doing. So that would be our key one. And then he kind of goes horn, I go color. So it's one of those things where we compromise.
I like the flat twisty horns. I go for that. But we bought a cow today that has higher horns, but I know we can lay it down with the right bull.
So out of your herd, what's your favorite?
Actually, my favorite cow is Crash Along.
She's one of mine too.
She
I don't even
heck of
call
a
her Crash,
producer.
I call her old mama. She's just so cool, and she's just laid back. That beautiful twist, the traditional twist that you don't see it as often.
Mm-hmm.
And her color, and she throws it. And it's great. We actually love having her around.
Yep.
So did you guys buy her or breed her?
Yeah, no, we bought her 5 years ago, and then she had 4 heifers in a row,
Wow.
and they were all ringers, every one of them.
So because she's your favorite, will she finish out her time at the ranch?
Yes. Yeah.
So from what we've seen of you guys, just when we've been here and stuff, you have gotten a lot of other people started Longhorns in this area. So how does that happen?
Persistence. Marketing. We'll even go to local, like a couple times we've gone to a draft horse competition where they do traditional stuff and they show old pictures of the county from back when it started. So we try to hit local venues that have that vibe and feel of the Longhorns that we think it might fit, and we pay the booth cost or whatever and bring a few and display them and talk about it, in all aspects from the breeding to showing to meat production. And that's actually really helped a lot. Today we were fortunate, some new breeders, they knew Don Winger, who we had bought Crown Smoke Jumper from, and they decided all of a sudden they wanted to get into it, so they showed up today and bought 3 animals?
Yeah.
3, yeah.
And I want to make sure when people get into it that they succeed. Don't sell them the stuff you don't want. Make sure they have, sooner or later, they want some success, or they're going to get out of it.
Right.
And I'd say another thing we do too, I don't see a lot of breeders do, which I think is beneficial to keep them in the program of breeding, is we help them with knowing the logistics of owning a Longhorn. Shoots, working corrals, vaccination, health, of the animal. Because if they're a happy breeder, they're going to stay in the industry versus getting frustrated and getting out.
An example is Amazon. We didn't really need a bull, but I'm like, let's get into it with Pecco.
Yeah, because he was wanting a good bull, so we said, let's partner.
Yeah.
So what would be the best advice you guys can give other breeders, whether new or not, or located in Texas or not?
Buy the best cows you can afford.
Yep.
And
Never
research.
compromise that.
Yeah.
And go for the cheap. And educate yourself. I mean, goodness gracious. Reach out to people like Justin Rombeck or anybody in the industry that knows the bloodlines, because it saves you a lot of money in the long run.
And also, when you go to a well-established breeder, don't buy the bottom end. You know, just because they have a certain brand on the butt or on the shoulder or whatever, because you might overpay. You might pay for the brand more than the breeding. So, yeah.
Well, thank you guys for having us out to your sale again. That's
Thank
one of our
you.
favorites.
Thank you.
coming.
No, that was great.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Go eat some
I know
dinner.
it's a long way from home.
It was good.
And family.